Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Well, we only have a few things to cover today. I'm still waiting on the BBC documentary to come out so I can cover that. But the first thing I want to say before we jump in is about the above picture. Somebody put a comment below Twitter about this photo that really caught my attention. Van27 pointed out, and rightly so, that this picture is more disturbing than you think. This party that they went to was a theme party that was pre-planned, set up, attended, and enjoyed. Yeah, so this wasn't just some spur-of-the-moment thing. Thank you for pointing that out. I really hadn't thought about it that way, and you're 100% correct. One other thing I want to make a comment on before we dive in is about this whole racism thing with Charles. As I've told you guys before, there's nothing racist about saying, I wonder what the kids are going to look like. I actually have a neighbor, as I've reported to you before. She's of Indian descent. Her husband is white. And the two of them told me that they were having those exact conversations when she was pregnant. I had to point out to her that she's considered a racist for doing that. Let's remember that Megan said that the conversations took place while she was pregnant. And here's a refresher, just in case you forgot.
And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
There is a conversation. Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
there's several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
with Harry
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially and what that would mean or look like.
So you heard her. She said there were multiple conversations while she was pregnant. According to Harry, there was one conversation that took place while they were dating. Here's a refresher for you.
Megan shared with us that there was a conversation with you about Archie's skin tone. What was that conversation?
That conversation I'm never going to share.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No. But that was right at the beginning. Yeah, what will the kids look like?
Yeah, what would the kids look like?
Now they're saying the conversations took place in 2017, right when they got engaged. And now it's being reported that the conversations didn't even take place directly with Harry, that somebody overheard Charles say, gee, I wonder what the child would look like. And it got twisted and turned and then reported to Harry. I personally think this is a case of Megan looking for, racism. She's the victim mentality. Look what he said, Harry. I'm a victim. He's racist. Yeah, okay. Just remember that if Charles was a racist, he would not have hired that choir. He would not have welcomed her into the family. He would not have walked her down the aisle. Charles is not a racist, and I think Harry and Meghan are big fat liars. I'd also like to add that the person who put out this book that started this whole brouhaha also said in the book that it was not meant racist when Charles said that. Okay, let's move on to our first story. We're going to start out, I'm going to go back to this whole boozy thing, right? First, it was reported that Twitter data showed that Harry and Meghan were part of a coordinated campaign of hate. You guys have to remember that when this report came out, Twitter did an investigation and came out and said that there was no coordinated campaign of hate, okay? Just remember that. Then Omid Scobie came out and said, they've identified 83 accounts behind 70% of the abusive tweets. 83 accounts. There are 353 million active users. 353 million, and they're talking about 83 accounts, okay? But I wonder if this gentleman took his Bot Sentinel, which I think it's a load of crap, and he did an investigation into how many people throw hate at the royal family. I think you would find it's more than 83 accounts. I've shown you these tweets before. They're disgusting. They're against children. They've written horrible things about the Cambridge children while screaming that you should never say anything about the Sussex children. But I guarantee you, if he ran that same report in reverse, it would be more than 83 accounts. And you would find that he is responsible for some of the hate being thrown. That's what I find. This is a perfect example. This beautiful young lady above has an open Twitter wall. And when I went on it, she talks about how she was the victim of abuse and that people just aren't believing her as she's telling them about the abuse, okay? Look at her. She's gorgeous. How can you complain that you're an abuse survivor and people don't believe you, and then you write a tweet like this? What is the matter with people? Before people start screaming that this is fake, I double-checked the Twitter handle and the profile pictures, and it does appear to be authentic. You guys just remember that Twitter did not commission this report from Bot Sentinel. This is some sort of crowdfunding thing, and the guy that's running it is in bankruptcy, and there's all kinds of problems. But here's the interesting part, or here's the part that I find interesting. I'm going to give a shout out here to Queen Gertrude, who put me on the trail of these Bot Sentinel reviews that are publicly available. Let's take a look. This review says that the bot targets leftists and censors your feed. It's a political tool by blocking voices and information it doesn't want heard. Here's one that says it's nothing but an Excel spreadsheet that looks for swear words. This one says that it's just used to attack legitimate accounts that the creator disagrees with politically, and you'll be marked as problematic. This one was very interesting. It said that it has a political bias. It missed several conspicuous sock puppet accounts, rating them normal, and labeled a number of progressive accounts as disruptive or problematic. The app even recommended reporting accounts to Twitter preemptively, which is anti-free speech, and states the app shouldn't even be available in the United States. This last tweet is just unbelievable. Beware deceptive and biased silencing population of activists on Twitter, and the creator uses it like a weapon to harass anyone that questions him or his app. He urges followers to report and block accounts that are outspoken. Now, the next part really caught my attention because the man wrote that he's been spammed for donations and begged for positive reviews, and he regrets giving him permission because now the Bot Sentinel owner is threatening to use his computer skills to make nightmares for them. Now, I don't know that I would have believed that had this letter not then popped up. Apparently, this is one of the letters that you get after you sign up for Bot Sentinel begging for donations. I could be wrong, but if you look at this, it looks like he removed all the negative comments on the app and just left 5 comments. That's how he got 5 out of 5 stars. Odd, isn't it, that you have all those negative comments, but none of them are showing up. All right, let's move on to our next story. Prince William made some sort of comments and was accused of racism. The comments were about the African population in relation to the animals and nature. You guys know that Omid Scobie, if it's against the royal family, he had to make a comment, always. So what he said was, and I'm quoting, "The increasing pressure on Africans' wildlife and wild spaces as a result of human population presents a challenge for conservationists, as it does the world over. But it is imperative that the natural world is protected." Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, Harry, in a previous article, said the following. He commented on the importance of work when it came to a project to safely move an elephant herd. And what he said was, and I'm quoting, "There has to be a balance between the number of animals and the available habitat." Again, I'm still quoting. He said, "Human population in southern Africa has increased annually by an average of 1.16%. Prince Harry said, commenting on the importance of his work, pointing out that the population went from 73 million to 320 million. Don't see Omid Scobie saying anything about that one. Moving on, I would like to bring up a lie. It's another lie from Meghan Markle that's been outed. I know it seems kind of odd to throw it on the end of a video, but you guys know how I am about that. So do you remember when she said this?
I like pretended that I was union, and I got there and they were like, "So you're union?" I'm like, "Of course I'm union. Yeah, absolutely I'm union." And then I wasn't. And casting, to this day, those casting directors will never hire me. They never. I can't even remember what their names were.
You told them you were.
I told them I was union, and then they had to Taft-Hartley me, which really is just like them sending one piece of paperwork to the union, but it makes you.
You're the Mike Ross of.
I was such a fraud.
And then you have this from Thomas Markle, where he said he pulled strings to get her a union card. He got her to the director of General Hospital and got her a couple of lines on some of the shows to get her the card. And here are those lines.
Excuse me, do you know if Chloe Morgan has a visitor with her?
Just one second. I have his chart right here, Dr. Lambert. I don't see the notation anywhere.
Yes. Never mind. Just the person.
Well, I have one more update for you. As I previously reported, I knew that Harry and Meghan were going to be super pissed at that double dip at the church. The stories coming out is that it was a fabulous event, and Harry and Meghan are upset because they felt that they should have been invited and it should have been a triple dip for their child as well. Of course, that was not allowed, and why would you want your child baptized with the very family that you're claiming is racist? But what I found interesting is Neil Sean stated that this was a smackdown from the Queen, and I totally believe it. Well, once again, we have a lot of information, a lot of updates. I will be letting you know about the BBC documentary Part 2 as soon as I'm able to view it. Does anybody else think that Harry just hates his family? Like, he must really hate them. But what I cannot figure out is why the royal family is just allowing this to continue and continue and continue. Why don't they do something? Why don't they remove their titles, remove Harry from the line of succession? He's no longer a prince. The grandchildren are no longer a prince. Just why aren't they cutting the final tie? I don't get it. So I want your comments on the updates that I gave you, as well as the story about William being accused of being racist, now that he said the exact same thing that Harry had said. And don't forget to give me your thought processes on the Bot Sentinel app. So make sure you hit the button to subscribe so you'll be notified whenever I have new uploads for you. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. You can email me. To those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.